swung on and driven high and deep into center field. The Red Sox are going to the playoffs. Say down, say hello to October.
It's gone. It's into the bullpen. This game is tied. This game is tied.
Strike three called. 100 miles an hour. His 11th strikeout.
Jam winds. He fires. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It's over. The Red Sox have won the World Championship.
All right, we're back. It's Play Tessie, episode 343. It's the official Red Sox podcast of WEI, presented by Baseball Isn't Boring. Get your merch at bbisn'tboring.com. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. We're Play Tessie. You know it. Go to YouTube. Play Tessie on YouTube. Find the actual channel. Subscribe to that channel. It's got all our episodes. That channel's got all the new ones, all the interviews. Everything is going on that channel. We really appreciate it. And you know we're on the socials at Play Tessie on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Sammy's here, Pat's here, Gordo with you guys, and I was telling these guys at the radio, I tweeted it out later, that today's game on Sunday, the rubber match Red Sox Cardinals, was a huge vibe shifter game. Potential for extremes in both directions. I feel like rubber matches in general are obviously vibe shifting games. Either you win a series or you lose a series, and especially with us, we record the podcast right after the series ends on Sunday. So if they win the series, we're happy going into the pod. If they lose the series, we're not. But this one to even more of an extreme, because if they lose the game, they could go to potentially the worst record in baseball again. It could be you lost a series to the Cardinals, who everyone thinks are going to suck this year. But if you win the game, you win the series, you've won back-to-back series, including one against the Brewers, one of the better teams in baseball, and you've won 4 out of 5 games. So not saying must-win game, whatever, but definitely a big vibe-shifting game. And in a season where most of those moments have gone against the Red Sox, it was awesome today to see them not just win a game, but have a convincing win. They handled business, didn't have to use any of their big-time relievers. Zach Kelly got through the last 2 innings, really had to use nothing. And now we're happy flight to Minnesota. Just, man, it's kind of the first time since opening day where I feel like vibes are in a pretty good place. And I know a lot of that has to do with the landscape of the American League, but you get the hand you're dealt. And hey, right now, for the first time in a while, the Red Sox feel like they're in an okay spot.
Oof, Gordo, happy flight to Minnesota. That brings back some scary memories from 2025. That's when the turbulence celebration was born. Wasn't nice at first, but it became a nice thing that they bonded over. So I want to back it up a little bit. Red Sox win the series at home against the Brewers. Normally in that scenario, I'd say great opportunity for the Red Sox to get on a roll. They just beat a good team, and now they got 2 not-so-good teams, the Cardinals and the Twins, coming up on this road trip. That's not how I felt with the Red Sox heading to St. Louis. I was nervous because the way this team has operated early on, when you think they're going to do well, they kick you where it hurts, and they don't play well. Then we get the Dustin May game, which I'm sure we'll go over. Dustin May, who infamously pitched for the Red Sox in 2025 and stunk. He comes out here pitching for the Cardinals, a team that is trying to lose, and just dominates or daddies the Red Sox, as Gordo likes to say.
Daddy.
The vibes were not good. I'm a little nervous come Saturday night. You got to win this to salvage the vibes, because I don't want to be watching a Sunday day game saying, I hope they salvage one game against the Cardinals. 2-1, late in the game, 9th inning, Red Sox break it open. Hooray, the offense wakes up. I'm still not buying that the offense is broken out, but then Sunday comes around and, oh my God, Andre Pallant, however you say that guy's name, good grief, that guy is not very good. The Red Sox kick the crap out of him, win 2 out of 3. I'm feeling good now. I'm not nervous for Minnesota. I'm not scared that something bad is going to happen in Minnesota. It could, but I'm not nervous about it. I feel confident. Happy flight, hopefully no turbulence. Good things happening for the Red Sox. Baby steps. Baby steps.
Yeah, today was big because today's the difference between winning 4 out of 5 and then you're going into Minnesota winning 2 consecutive series. They lose today. That means they probably had to burn through the pen. You lost the series to St. Louis. You're 5-10. Like things are not looking good, but that's not how it shook out. You took 2 out of 10. You won 4 out of 5. 2 out of 3, won 4 out of 5, 2 straight series wins, and you're going into Minnesota for game 1 with Crochet and a fully rested bullpen. So vibes are high. I'm still not going to say I feel awesome, but compared to where we were a week ago and what could have been today, yeah, I feel pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like the majority of this is going to be good. And so maybe we just get the crap out of the way really quick with the Dustin May thing, because obviously there's really not that much to say about it. They showed up, they scored 2 runs off Dustin May and the Cardinals bullpen, which honestly, we were talking about this in the commercial break at radio, but the back end of that bullpen a lot better than you would think just looking at the names.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo and O'Brien are both legit arms, and O'Brien, holy crap, really good. But Dustin May, you expect to hit Dustin May. And man, I feel like all of us fans, I tweeted it out because I was ready. You see the 15.5 ERA or whatever he had going in, and it's Dustin May. We all watched it last year. We know this guy, and you expect to hit him. Him going 6 innings, 2 runs, and then proceeding to like our tweets. He liked. I'll find my tweet. Sam, he liked one of Sammy's too. Sammy, you find yours.
My tweet was basically saying, like, I don't want to hear about Pete Fatsi. I don't want to hear about Alex Cora, how he set the lineup. I don't want to hear about anything other than the players on the field who couldn't hit Dustin May. And the way I framed it, I wrote, "This is Dustin May again, Dustin May," and you got shut down by him. Then I wake up in the morning and I see Dustin May like this tweet, and I'm thinking, good for him. I deserve that. He deserves it. I'm looking like an asshole. He shoved. Red Sox embarrassing game. Whatever.
And on mine, my tweet was, Dustin May going 6 innings, 2 runs on 75 pitches is depressing. And he liked that. And he also he posted an Instagram post, and it was just him pitching in that game. And the caption was just the Lou. And I was looking for it because I was thinking to myself, oh, I wonder if he sassed us in some way. And then I see the song playing. It's Sweet Caroline. It's okay. He talked their shit. And you know what? By all means, go for it. I kind of love it.
Yeah.
I do kind of love it.
I support it, man. If we're gonna talk shit, then they should be able to talk shit back to us. It's not how it used to be back when we were all really young, or when I back in my day. You never communicated with the players, but now you put something on social media, they might see it. And Gordo and I, we got gently dunked on by Dustin May. Thank you, Dustin May. He listens to the show, so thank you for taking it easy on us.
Yeah. The thing is like, especially guys like Dustin May, Walker Buehler, you could probably throw Nick Pivetta in that conversation, Jordan Hicks. Like, if you're of that category of guys who all Sox fans do is just kick you while you're down and shit on your life, if you show up and show out, you know what? Tip of the cap. Tip of the cap. Yeah, I mean, you can talk all the shit you want, because 364 days of the year, everyone in Boston pretty much fucking hates you. So for the one day where you show up, do your job, and you do well, tip of the cap. Talk your shit, man.
Yeah, and there's no chance in hell. I guess he could pitch really well and then get traded to someone that they'll see down the line. That's the only chance they'll see him again. So it's really just, it's easy. It's easy pickings here for Dustin May. Like, he's not going to see the Red Sox again, most likely. But yeah, that had me not feeling good. Yes, like Sammy said, waking up the next day off of a 2-run performance against Dustin May. And now the next 2 games in the series are Ranger Suarez and Brayan Bello, 2 guys that you want to feel good about and you think you should be able to feel good about, but coming off of the first 2 starts that they each threw this year, their ERAs were both 9 or close to 9. You were a little nervous going to that game, especially with the way the offense was going. And man, that first inning, Ranger Suarez threw 27 pitches. I mean, it just looked like it was going to be more of the same. He walked 2 in that inning, and it felt like because with Ranger Suarez, what we were saying was the stuff's not diminished, but he doesn't feel like he has a feel for anything, and he's not executing his pitches. And then after that, 5 straight innings, and we were in the group chat wanting him to go out for the 7th. And I understand why they didn't, because he hadn't really been built up. But in actual, like, we were calling for it because he looked that good. To see that from Ranger Suarez, I mean, that's the guy you're paying for. And I mean, man, hopefully we get more of that, because the whole rotation this run through, Bello included, really, really good in the finale. But those 2 guys really were the 2 that needed to get off the schneid. Early obviously didn't go deep, but he made pitches. But those 2 are the guys to highlight. Bello and Ranger Suarez both going at least 6 innings. Quality starts lead to wins. They're undefeated when they get a quality start, and they have not won when they don't.
It's a quality team. The thing with Ranger Suarez, or the narrative, I should say, surrounding him, was that he is not going to be able to pitch as well with the ABS system, because his bread and butter is, painting the corners and not being in the middle of the strike zone. And I don't want to shut that down, but I'm not fully buying that. I think that might be a little bit overstated, because if that is true, he's also forcing the other team to use challenges, and that's another thing they have to think about. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. I think it was simply that he wasn't built up. Gordo, you just said we wanted him to go out for another inning. He was dealing, and the Red Sox still said, no, you're done for the day. He didn't really have much of a spring training. It was a very weird, very successful with the World Baseball Classic, but it was a weird spring training for Ranger Suarez. New team, has to go travel all around the world to play games for Team Venezuela. And then he comes back. Probably has an adrenaline dump. That's why you see a lot of the guys from the WBC underperforming. And then he has to get ready for the regular season. And it's just been weird for him. So it was nice to see Ranger Suarez settle in. That was the guy who, when he was signed to the Red Sox, that's what was advertised. A million different pitches. He commands all of them. Calm, cool, collected. It was a pleasure to watch him do his thing on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think the thing with Ranger is you can see when he's on and when he's off. His first two starts, he couldn't locate. He was felt like every at bat was going 7-8 pitches. He was walking guys, which is very uncharacteristic for Ranger. The velo is what the velo is. Like, that's something that we all just have to kind of come to terms with. That's not something that's just going to jump up. But innings 2 through whatever it was, 2 through 6. That is Ranger Suarez. Like, people who have not watched Ranger Suarez before he was a Red Sox, that is Ranger Suarez. It is the 90-mile-an-hour backdoor cutter that's paid in the edge. It's the 78-mile-an-hour slurve that looks like a strike 90% of the way and then just falls off the table. Like, that, when he can locate, that is why he is worth $130 million. And historically speaking, he is able to do that 9 times out of 10. This is a guy with a really good track record. And then on the flip side, like, there definitely are guys around the league. The one that comes to mind is kind of Eduardo Rodriguez. There are guys in the league where they kind of have good numbers, but it's almost on the behalf of offensive ineptitude. Like, Erod would just kind of get lucky with pitches down the middle. He kind of pitched to contact. He kind of get away with it. Ranger is not like that. Ranger is, I'm going to attack you, and I'm going to put it in spots where it's going to be incredibly hard for you to hit this ball well. And that is what we saw on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Pat, and I guess Gordo, have you seen the Predator movies? Alien versus Predator movies?
Yes.
I love how you say, and I guess Gordo. No, I've never even heard of it.
Okay. You know how they throw those boomerang blades? The blade array?
Yeah.
That's what Ranger Suarez's pitches were looking like on Saturday night. They were like slicing through the air like he was throwing blades. It was awesome. I couldn't get enough of it. Good for Ranger. Ron Hare?
Ron Hell.
I like Ranger.
I thought it was Ron Hare. Ron Hare.
No, Ron Hell.
Ron
no,
Hell?
It's not Ron Hell. It's not
Ron Hell.
Fact checking. Be right back.
Why would it be Ron Hell?
Woo, dude, that's like
where would the L come from?
Hell for people named Ron.
It's like Angel Baroa, but with an R.
I think it's Ron Hare.
Angel Bastardo, but with an R.
The angel bastard.
I think it's Ron Hare, but it's Ranger.
Yeah.
What?
Either way, he was throwing blades out there, and I love to see it. The curveball looked really good. I know he uses it sparingly, but that left-handed soft curveball, don't really see it that much from that arm slot either. I like watching guys like that who are finesse pitchers just because we don't see them very often anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like he was in total control of everything. Every pitch had a purpose, and it was going to go where he wanted it to go. And Cora said he felt his arm motion was better, moving quicker with the arm. I mean, we're going to need to see it again. You paid him $130 million for a reason, and that's what you're paying for. And really, just everything that's gone, the turn through the rotation. This is what this team is supposed to be able to do. Crochet 6 1/3, 2 earned. Sonny 6 1/3, no earned. Early 4 1/3, 1 earned. Rangers 6 shut. Bello 6 2/3, 2 earned. That's 29 2/3, 5 total earned runs, a 1.52 ERA. Their third turn through the rotation. Like, this is who this team is supposed to be built around. Pat?
Ron Hare. I'm a big stupid idiot. It's Ron Hare.
Credit to you for owning up.
Yeah, let's go.
Ron Hell is a good one, though.
I wanted you to be right because I genuinely would have been curious where the L came from and why it changed to an R.
You're going to Ron Hell, buddy.
Ron Hell.
Ron Hell.
Let's go with Ranger.
This is the first time through the rotation where you're like, oh, so this was the vision. Like, this is what they were building. Because the first 2 times through, you're like, oh my God, this team sucks. The pitching can't pitch more than 4 innings. The offense can't hit. They're striking out a bunch. And then it's kind of crazy how different the team looks when the pitchers who are supposed to be good pitchers actually pitch well. Like, Sonny has looked phenomenal his last 2 starts. Crochet is Crochet. You know what you're going to get. Connolly hasn't looked great at any point this year, but he's looked solid all around. Ranger was an absolute demon the other day. And then Bello today, as we record, pitched great. So even if they're 80% of their last outings, you're still in a phenomenal spot to be in game to win those games.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the stat is if they throw a quality start, they win the game. If they don't, they lose the game. And it goes to, Pat, you've talked about your concerns about the bullpen. You talked about it on the radio today. Connolly early only allowed 1 earned run. And granted, they didn't lose that game because of the bullpen. I know Zach Kelly let in a couple of runs, and obviously those were the difference. But they lost that game because they couldn't hit. But in the end, yeah, if this team's going to go deep into the game with their starter, not allow more than 3 earned runs, and then be able to either have a big lead or hand the game off with a small lead to Slayton when he's healthy, Whitlock, Chapman, that's the vision right there. And we can talk about it. I mean, we're going to come on this podcast after series wins and talk about how that's the vision and that's how they won the series. We're going to come on this podcast after series losses and talk about how that's not a sustainable way to win series consistently. Like, that's just going to be what it is, because they've scored 16 runs in the last 2 games. So I don't want to discount that. Like, that is obviously the most the offense has shown us, but yeah, obviously I still have concerns about the offense, but the 16 runs, it speaks for itself. Like, they did their job.
16 runs without much help from Roman Anthony, who we all agreed was supposed to be the catalyst of this offense. Still might become it. Still early here, but a little extra encouragement. He was not really participating much in that, and the offense was still able to shoulder the load. And hey, minor shout out. Caleb Durbin, slight improvement. Those at-bats looked a little bit better. He stopped chasing at an RBI single in the second game. So I feel like he was getting a ton of heat, deservedly so. He played terribly, and I feel like that is an awful place to be with a new team. So I'm very much rooting for him to turn it around, and I like what I saw over the weekend.
Well, I agree. I mean, this was obviously his best series of the season, low bar. But why are we hitting him in the 2-hole? I
don't like that. That I'm not for.
Yeah, no, I know you complimenting him is not an endorsement of him in the 2-hole. And we're talking about it on radio, and Rob basically said, if not Durbin, then who? I think you'd be better off going back-to-back lefties. I think you'd be Story had 4 hits in the finale. Obviously, you don't want to play with what's working with him. You don't want to just toss him right back in the 2-hole. But, man, I don't want the guy who's hitting 100 as the guy who's protecting Roman Anthony, hitting in front of Duran and Contreras. Like, that's the guy who's supposed to get on base for Willson Contreras and Wilyer Abreu, who have been your 2 best hitters this year. I mean, I would just move everyone up a spot, even if it means back-to-back lefties.
Okay, but even without that, what's the argument against Anthony, Contreras, Abreu? And you can hit Story cleanup. I don't care.
No argument against that. I think that'd be a great lineup.
That just seems like such a no-brainer. And then you could do Duran 5th or something. Yoshida?
Yeah, we could talk about the Yoshida thing too. But it does feel like, dating back to when Cora, he announced, remember, it was at Fenway Fest where he announced Contreras as the cleanup guy. Everything else, besides Story at shortstop and Contreras in the cleanup spot, they left, we're going to make that decision when we have to. Contreras not in the 2-hole is something that they, for whatever reason, have felt very strongly about. And with how he's hit this year, he probably should be the 2-hitter.
It is encouraging.
Hitters.
It is encouraging to see Cora willing to make changes. A lot of the times with the Red Sox, and this goes back before Cora, is they're so set in their ways, they don't want to make these adjustments because they'd rather not admit they're wrong, I guess is a way to frame it, or just they don't want to make the change because they believe so much that it'll eventually turn around. But like Story in the 2-hole, that was so quickly you were able to tell that wasn't working. It's not a good spot for him in the lineup. You look at his profile as a player, that's not a 2-hole hitter. And I'm not saying he's a bad bat. I've never for 1 second doubted Story's offense. I've been saying since the jump, he'll bounce back today. 4 hits, multiple RBIs, but he's not a 2-hole guy. He's strikes out a lot, medium power, good speed. Like, put that guy lower in the order so we can use that speed more and the strikeouts won't hurt you as much.
Yeah, I think the thing with Story is you can see the difference in approach between hitting second and hitting, fifth or sixth. Cora said it pregame at some point during the week, this past week, that moving him down the order is basically by design in order to take the load off of him. Because when Roman's not really getting on base, Story in turn basically becomes the leadoff guy and has the pressure of getting on base for the rest of the lineup. You move him down the lineup and a guy is on, it's a totally different mindset. And I'm not saying, obviously, that Roman isn't getting on base a lot, but just putting him down the lineup, seeing the other guys, getting a feel for the pitcher, like, it's been a total 180 for him. And I don't expect he's going to go 4 for 5 with 3 RBI every single game. But I also think that, I think he's going to strike out a little bit less. I think he's going to put the ball and play a little bit more.
Yeah, and you talk about Roman. Obviously, we all think Roman's going to be fine. We still expect this guy to be the best player on the team, even though to this point, I would say their hitters in order of good have gone. You could go Willie or Willson 1 and 2, whichever order, and then Yoshida probably 3. Roman's hitting 200 with a 599 OPS. He's going to be fine, but that's just the reality of what it's been to this point. Meanwhile, Willson Contreras, 302, 957 OPS. I was telling these guys at radio today, I was not high enough on the acquisition when they made it for Willson Contreras. And not only has he been a middle of the order bat, we talk about the leadership void. I'm not going to compare him to Alex Bregman in terms of that, but in terms of spark, this team started playing with energy the second he brought it. The second he brought it in that game 1 against the Brewers, that's when the energy started for this team. And the stats speak for themselves. 4 more hits today, home run today. He's the only one who's hit a homer on this team in the last week. Like he has been the middle of the order bat. We obviously said they needed to add a middle of the order bat, and he subbed in for Bregman, but he has been that. And there was definitely, on my part, fear that he might not be that caliber of bat. I don't know if he's going to be that the whole way, but he's certainly been it to this point.
I like what Pat said last episode or 2 episodes ago, whatever it was. The Red Sox needed a motherfucker like that. A guy who you want to go to battle with. And that's very much a Boston-style athlete. We love that here, right? Like, that is classic type of Boston player. The fans, I'm sure Willson Contreras is going to be a fan favorite. And I said Caleb Durbin would be the new fan favorite because he's short and gritty. But maybe I should have said Willson Contreras because, goddamn, this guy, he has a knack for doing the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, I feel like with Durbin... Sorry, you go ahead, Pat.
No, I was going to say he's exactly what this team's been lacking for a while. We said that about Bregman with the leadership component, guy who's been there, done that, whatever. Contreras is kind of that Boston athlete mold in the sense where he's very productive. He's an absolute bastard. And it feels like he genuinely hates the other team. Today, it's something so minuscule, but it caught my eye. He made a backhanded stab on a ball that should have been down the line and then literally just meandered over to first base, touched it with his big toe, and then just walked off the field. That's just playing it cool. And that's the thing is, I don't think he's trying to do that. I think he's just cool as shit, man.
He's organically cool.
He's just a cool player. Yeah.
I got a nugget on Willson Contreras in the last 2 games of the series. He had a bad game on Friday, whatever, it happens. But Saturday, 2 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs, plus 23 win percentage added. These are like I love these win percentage stats on Fangraphs, so shout out to those guys. And then today, Sunday, 4 for 5 home run, 3 RBIs, a run scored, plus 23% win percentage added again. His OPS, guys, his OPS is 957. 957. Chew on that.
I just to loop it back. What is it about him that they don't like in the 2-hole?
I think they just like him in the 4-hole. It's not that they don't like him in the 2-hole.
Okay, but why? Like, what's with the preference for 4 versus 2 because of the power?
I think he's just been good in the 4-hole, and they don't want to move him. I don't agree with it. I'm just.
He's been hitting. He's hit third. He's hit third.
True.
He's hit fourth. I don't know. And I'm the guy that goes out there and says I really don't think batting order makes that much of a difference in general. It's just I don't know. I would hit him too. I would do what you said, Sammy.
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan
Willson,
of
Willie.
I'm not a fan of Willie in the 2-hole, but that's just me.
I was wondering if this conversation was going to go there because of all the mentions of people named Willie and then the word holes. And here we are. Pat Brown never fails, baby.
For those of you who are not watching on YouTube, I've had a smirk on my face for about 15 seconds.
Yeah. I notice every time you do the smirk, I'm like, here comes something.
Sometimes I'm trying to get a takeoff, and I know there's no way to avoid saying it with some version of hole, and I just have to tell myself, don't look at Pat.
Slot, line up slot.
Don't do it. That's a weird word for it. No, it's the 2-hole. It's a 2-hole.
All right, Willie in the 2-hole.
Or you could hit Yoshida up there if they ever wanted to play him again.
You could make the argument that every guy that's been in the 2-hole stinks.
Well, they have. What did Rob say? The second. Oh,
Yeah, you get the joke now, but no.
Yeah.
But seriously, it feels like every guy I forget, was it last year? Last year for a bit, it felt like every guy they hit.
Was it cleanup?
I think it was cleanup. Yeah, it just didn't work. Story couldn't hit cleanup for a little bit. Willier couldn't hit cleanup for a little bit.
Campbell.
Campbell, like that 2 slot right now is what the 4 slot was last year.
That's a good pull, Pat. I completely had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
We graduated that pretty early on in the year, but what was it? 2 months? It was a long time of that.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Dude,
and then
Narvaez was hitting cleanup. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't do bad. He was the one who stopped it.
Yeah, that's right. And like, we love the Narv, but for fuck's sake.
Yeah. That was wild. I mean, his May, go look at his splits and go look at his May from last year. He was crazy, dude. That's his rookie year. This is second month, a guy who people said wasn't going to hit ever. And obviously he's defense first, but damn. Yeah, the 2-hole in general, very bad. Rob had the stat. They're the second worst in the 2-hole outside of, I think, was it the Reds? Who was it? Was it the Reds?
San Francisco or something? I don't know. This is killing me.
Durbin 0 for 3 out of that lineup spot since that stat. So there's a chance they could have dropped to worse. Though he did walk and get hit by a pitch.
Wait, but did he get was he not in the 2-hole last night on Saturday?
No, he was. I think that's what got them out of the gutter.
Oh, okay. I misheard you. I get it now. Sorry, my mind is also in the gutter.
Yeah, you guys are filth monsters. Both of you
Pat
in the gutter.
It. Pat
I agree.
It.
Look at that! Look at that smug smile over there.
You can't say stuff. Was he not in the 2-hole last night? And expect me not to smirk.
You guys know what I was doing before we started recording? I was praying and donating to charity, and then Pat comes on here and corrupts me.
He drags us down.
Let me pray.
Let us
to
be
Larry
good
David.
Boys. Yeah. And then hit Yoshida second. There you go. I didn't say it.
Yoshida's on the team. I feel like this is not getting nearly enough play, and it is getting a lot of play, but it needs more play. This outfield logjam is going to handcuff the offense the entire season. Because, like, for example, Duran had a nice hit in the gap today. Would it shock any of us if he's not in the lineup tomorrow? Wouldn't shock me.
Do we think, because this was the second straight day they sat Yoshida, and it started to get more play when they sat Anthony the day after an off day, and people sort of coming around to, hey, maybe the rotation of sitting these guys and none of them being everyday players except for seemingly Willier Abreu is not good for these guys because they can't get in rhythms, and Duran is struggling, and Rafaela can't get going on defense. He has actually been hitting the ball a little bit, at least some singles and some, like, a couple of boot up, but the batting average is there, but in general he's not impacting the ball. Anthony obviously hasn't gotten going. Maybe the reason for this is because none of them are in consistent roles, and let's keep it with Duran because he's the most obvious example. He had the huge double today, but outside of that, and this is a guy who's been DHing probably 40% of the time, left field 40% of the time, sitting 10% of the time, center field 10% of the time. And this is a guy who we obviously know needs consistency, and he's had consistency the last several years. He's been an everyday, under no circumstances is he sitting kind of guy. And now he's asked to play all these different roles, sit now and then, play a different position now and then, don't play the field now and then. He's never done that. He's never been asked to take at bats, and maybe it doesn't go well. Now you have to sit on it for 3 innings until you get up again. I do think that this rotation of outfielders is contributing to some of the struggles from that group. And that's not even touching what I think about Yoshida, which is that he should be playing, which we can get to after this. But the rotation, do you guys agree with that? The rotation, and maybe they're starting to figure it out. Maybe that's why they've benched him 2 days in a row, Yoshida that being. But clearly sitting extra in April is not a recipe to get these guys going.
No, it sucks, and people talk about it like it's a good thing. And the only good thing is it's injury insurance. It's not good to have players who should be in the lineup not in the lineup. And I'll say what I said today at radio. It is a good problem. The good is you have a lot of talent, but it's still a problem. It's a problem because I think Duran is the perfect example. If he can't get going, what's he going to do? The only guy out of the outfield group who's getting consistent playing time is Wilyer Abreu. And it's because he plays right field at Fenway Park, and that's the hardest right field in the world. And none of the other guys, other than Cedon Rafaela, are equipped to do that. But Cedon Rafaela is going to be in center field every time he plays. So it's just a mess, and I feel bad for these guys. Like Yoshida, I've said so many negative things about Yoshida, but at the end of the day, he's way too good to be riding the bench. He should be a left fielder or a DH or both and be in the lineup 4 out of 5 games. 4 out of 5 games. For some team, whether it's the Red Sox or a different team, could say the same thing about Duran, same thing about Rafaela, same thing about Abreu. I cannot for the life of me understand how they did not figure this out again. And that's why I keep going back to, are we going to get one of those early season trades that you get maybe once a year? Is it going to be the Red Sox this time like they did with Quinn Priester? Or 2 years ago, it was Luis Suarez and whoever. It happens, but it's rare. This feels like a scenario where it could happen since it's impacting the Red Sox immediately.
Devers wasn't an early season trade, but that was also one that they jumped the gun on before the deadline for other reasons outside of routine adding or subtracting at the deadline.
Yeah, you could lump the Devers trade in there too. It is different, but still early season trade for some circumstances that we don't have to cover again.
Yeah, I think it's a hindrance because with the logjam that they have with the outfielders, it's hard to both play the hot hand and try and get a guy out of a slump. Meaning, Yoshida's been one of your better at-bats this whole season so far, but the offense is so desperate to get Duran and Roman going that they have to play, that it's resulting in Yoshida sitting. And I think it's, in theory, if all these guys are, firing on all cylinders, yeah, it's a good problem to have. Because that means, Duran gets a day off, Roman gets some DH time, Wilyer, whatever. But that's if the stars align and everybody's playing great. That's not the case. Roman hasn't started to get going yet. Duran has shown some flashes, but definitely is not where they need him to be. And then Yoshida has been great, but he's kind of a liability defensively. And because Roman's throwing stuff is going on, he has the DH. Like, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and only one of the cooks are good right now. And that sucks.
It feels, we knew this going back to spring training. They said it themselves. These things often work themselves out. That's a line that baseball people use all the time when talking about position battles. With this, of course, it's like the first time ever that it doesn't work itself out. No one's getting hurt. Rafaela getting hit on the hand with 2 pitches in the series. I'm picturing Breslow up in his suite or wherever he's watching from if he's back at Fenway. Is logjam about to be no
someone
he's okay.
Get hurt already.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's like we're just waiting for someone to get hurt so they can stand in front of a microphone and say, see guys, like I told you, these things often work themselves out, and now these guys are going to get every day at bats, just like we told you.
This is the guy who's operating as the GM, whatever, regardless of his title, he's operating as the GM of the Boston Red Sox. This is how we're talking about him. He's praying someone gets hurt to cover for his inability to move a talented, valuable player like Duran or dump a player like Yoshida. He couldn't do either of those things, or even Rafaela. I'll even go as far as saying Rafaela, which I don't know if I've ever said on this podcast. He's a candidate to be moved too because his contract is so good and he has such a valuable trait. elite defense at a premium spot. Any of those three, any of them, and he couldn't do jack shit. And now we're talking about, is an injury going to happen so that the guys can get regular playing time? I can go on for hours and hours about how poorly constructed this roster is. It's completely insane.
Would be absolutely electric if we got some Mike Vrabel, Diana Rossini style pictures of Craig Breslow and Palante just interlocking fingers and Palante slipping him an envelope. He's like, just hit Zidane on the pinky.
It'd be Craig Breslow in one of those.
In the Cardinals tunnel. They're just holding hands.
It'd be like Craig Breslow in one of those Boston Dynamics robots. And he's like romantically holding hands with a robot. He's like, you're even better than a spreadsheet.
How?
This is a deep, deep pull. I know the answer is no. I'm going to put it out there anyway. Have either of you ever seen the movie Her?
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
That's like Craig with his analytic data, with his computer.
He sleeps in the same bed as his computer.
Yeah.
Sammy, you said something about dump Yoshida. Thank God. I mean, I understand the whole logjam thing and talking about how having all these guys is hurtful, but thank God they didn't do that. First off, Yoshida is hitting the ball harder than anyone on the team. He's walking more than anyone on the team. He's hitting the ball harder and walking more than pretty much every single player in baseball. If he was sent to another team for nothing, just for maybe a quarter of his contract worth of salary relief, this guy would be on fire, and we would be. I don't even know.
I don't care. I wouldn't care. I would not care.
Yes, you would.
I would say it wouldn't happen here, and it's not happening here. It's
but it is happening here.
Yeah, every few games. He hasn't played since fucking Friday.
So play the guy.
Okay, then do it.
I agree. Who? That's the thing is, I tweeted out something along the lines of essentially just this guy is really good and we should be playing him. If anything, just to see what we have, but not for. I mean, it helps when the offense is scoring. If the offense is going to score like this without him, then I am on board with the idea that get Rafaela, Duran, Anthony, Abreu, get those guys all going. But if they're not going to score and you've got one dude who's hitting the shit out of the ball and he's not chasing, he's not swinging and missing, he's taking walks, he's not striking out, he's doing everything that you said you want the offense to be, and you say he's one of the best hitters on the team, Alex Cora says that all the time when asked, he should be playing. And I always get asked, who do you sit? And it's a pain in the ass question because I don't want to sit any of them. And I also don't want to play sit on a second.
You got to answer that question every day for 162 games if you're Alex Cora. Who do you sit? And why do you have to answer that question? Because you got 5 goddamn outfielders on the roster. This is going to drive me crazy.
Genuinely, if it were up to me, I would say Roman Anthony, Wilyer Abreu, and Masataka Yoshida for the time being. Play against every single right-handed pitcher. And if this is fool's gold with Masa, then we change it. But if this is who he is, he needs to play. And he should be playing until we know it's not who he is. He's shown this in the past. It's not like it's not like it's like if David Hamilton had 100th percentile hard hit rate last year and we're like, hey, David Hamilton might be a monster. No, like Masa's shown this in the past. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world if the guy you paid $100+ million to get was actually good.
No, I think he is good. It's always been about the fit with me. And right now he doesn't fit, which has been the case from day one, pretty much. They have to move someone. And if you sit Rafaela, dude, how do you think he's going to handle that emotionally? Already been paid too?
The platoon should be Yoshida and Rafaela. That's my opinion.
And
the other thing too is Rafaela's not doing anything well enough right now to warrant the guarantee to play every day. That's the other part of this. Defensively, he's not looked like himself.
Well, I mean, that's going to change.
He had the good play today.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's going to change. Sure. He had the good play. But I agree with you, Pat, in a sense that, like, why – if we're talking about
if you're giving Roman Anthony off days,
right.
Zidane should not be guaranteed everyday play.
Zidane is hitting .325 with a 142 OPS. OPS plus and an 811 OPS. Like,
yeah, he has hit, but it's I don't know. You guys watch the at-bats.
That's fool's gold. I am more convinced that is fool's gold than Yoshida.
Yeah, fair. I don't think he's not gonna post a 142 OPS plus, but you see the at-bats, they're better. Taking more pitches, hitting the ball the other way. He doesn't do either of those things for his first few seasons.
I feel like a lot of these hits are, maybe half of them, honestly, are these balls at his head that he's just lining up the middle. Like I don't want to say it's not sustainable. When I watch Yoshida, that's a professional at bat. Like that's a guy who should be playing every day. And I don't want to sit here and say Cedon should be benched. If we're talking about who's earned the bench job, it's Jarren Duran so far. He's obviously been the worst of the 5 guys so far. To me, it's what I said before. It's Anthony, because he's obviously your highest ceiling guy. It's Abreu because he's been your best, since Yoshida because he's been one of your best. Those are the 3 that should play every day, and you should play the matchup for Duran and Rafael. And honestly, they're going to sit more than you'd like them to, but that's the roster that you put out there. And if the guys are going to play well, when you're several games under 500, you have to play your best players. Joe?
I got to contradict you there, Gordo. Yoshida did not have a professional at-bat on Friday. He went 3-0 and then took 3 straight pitches that he should have launched, at least for an extra base hit.
To be fair, that's
one at bat.
That was crazy, though. Yeah.
Who has the most professional at bat out of the bunch of those 5 so far this year?
No, challenge flag. Challenge flag. Easy. That's not a real thing. What is a professional at bat? That could mean you can't even define that. It means whatever you want it to mean.
No, when I talk about professional at bat, I'm talking about not chasing outside the zone, swinging at strikes, not swinging and missing at strikes.
Probably
drawing out counts because you're not chasing. Willier has done it. And Yoshida's done it.
I would say in order: Yoshida, Willier, Roman, Cedon, Jarren. Jarren has looked terrible. Jarren has not looked good at all.
Yeah, that's
agreed.
And Gordo, you say Yoshida is too good to be, or what'd you say? Like he should be in the lineup every day?
I think he should hit against righties until he shows he's not this.
So he's a platoon DH who only faces righties. Like I think Yoshida could be an everyday guy, but I could say that about all the outfielders on the roster. That's the problem, is until this logjam gets cleared up, we're going to be dealing with this issue. And it's gone from, this is a good problem to have, to more of like, technically a good problem because you got the talent, but it's more of a problem than it ever has been. And I keep going back to Duran and what you said earlier today, Gordo, on radio. What's his thought process heading to the ballpark every day? Like, am I in the lineup? If I am in the lineup, am I playing the field? And if I am playing the field, is it left field or is it center field? It's got to be tough to, and I know I don't want to handle the guy with kid gloves, but that's not easy. These guys are creatures of habit. And when there's no consistent routine, it's hard to get going.
I couldn't agree more. And I wish it was as simple as you can pull up you're playing MLB The Show, it's April, you offer a trade and someone's interested and they just take it. But this is you've built your land and you've built your lot in life. Is that the term? Built your land and you built your lot in land.
I usually go with you made your bed, now you have to lay in it for that one.
Yeah, okay. They've made their bed. They set a high price, particularly on Jarren Duran in the offseason, and this is what they've got. And we've talked about it, whether or not we think this is sustainable to get through the season. I just don't think it is. No. And I agree with you. I don't think I would bet my money on there not being an early season trade, because that's obviously, we're talking percentages, it's way more likely. But I agree with you, Sammy. If there was ever a time to do it, even if it's just for prospects that you can reroute in a future trade,
which I would have hated. Do it. I would have hated that in the offseason. I said a million times, you can't trade Duran for prospects, but this has become such an issue. The thing that I keep looking at is the Astros have the same issue on the infield. They have 5 infielders, and Altuve can't DH or play left field because Jordan's healthy, and he also is. Altuve's terrible at left field, so they don't want to do that. That's the only team I can think of as a fairly realistic trade partner. It would be rehashing the Isak Paredes rumors that we heard like 82 times over the offseason.
Where would he play?
Third base.
So you'd sit Durbin?
I'd make Durbin kind of a utility Swiss Army knife kind of guy, and I feel like that's a better role for him on this team, at least.
I agree with that. And if Marcelo struggles, because Marcelo, we talked him up. He was playing well early. He's come back down to earth. The defense
that could be your Marcelo platoon.
That's true. You could also platoon him with Marcelo. I still like Monasterio there, but I'm just saying it allows you to evaluate Marcelo and say, hey, if this guy is that dude and he's the future and the future is now, you play him. And if, June comes around and he's hitting 206, you do have the flexibility to send him down and turn to Durbin in that situation. But I like the idea. I also still like the idea potentially of Matt Shaw, but both Matt Shaw and Isaac Paredes, if we're talking about what this lineup is missing, it is that big 3-hole hitter, 4-hole hitter, thumper, 35, 40 homer bat. And even though those guys are quality hitters, neither of them fills that need.
That's fair, but I think you can still be a really good contender with a bunch of very good bats. And if you have like Contreras 20 plus, Paredes 20 plus, Roman hopefully 20 plus, Abreu 30 maybe, goes on and on. I feel like that's kind of representative of what the Blue Jays looked like last year, though Vlad is obviously higher quality bat than those guys. Still, point remains, mostly good home run bats, but not great ones in that lineup, and you saw how it worked out. Also, yeah, Gordo, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the simple way to say it is it would make you better.
Yeah.
If we're talking about having everyday roles for the guys who deserve to have everyday roles, we're talking about improving the infield. We're talking about adding power to a lineup that lacks it. There you go. I mean, maybe it's not the Pete Alonso bat that we all thought they needed going into the offseason, but does it make you better? Yes. That's the job of the front office, right? Make the team better. So I'm for it.
Also, people are going to reference Isaac Paredes says he doesn't see the ball well at Fenway. His stats at Fenway are pretty in line with his career numbers. So I imagine that if he plays there every day, he'll probably adjust to Fenway Park. I've never heard a guy say it's difficult to hit at Fenway. It's one of the more hitter-friendly ballpark.
When have we ever heard that before? Actually, seriously, have we ever heard anyone else say that?
I bet Carl Crawford would have said that. That's like some shit he would have said.
Pablo Sandoval says it like, God damn, man, they paid me. I could never see the ball here. This place sucks.
Yeah, I'm good on those guys. But also, we didn't mention IKF. The Red Sox kind of have two logjams. Obviously, this one is much to a lesser degree, but they have two backup infielders, IKF and Andrew Monasterio, who basically do the exact same thing. IKF maybe a little better defensively, Monasterio better offense. How did the Boston Red Sox, with all their resources, go into the season with a roster built like this? Again, blows my mind.
This is where, I mean, we've been saying it for 3 years, but this is exactly why Craig should have a veteran GM below him to like help with the actual construction part, because there's so many redundancies on the team. IKF and Monasterio, the entire outfield situation. Like, there's just so much that we're just like, I would like, maybe the outfield logjam is a little bit bigger in terms of issue, but like these were all very small fixable issues that just went completely unaddressed.
Mm-hmm.
We've got people calling ownership cheap with the sell the team stuff. They paid $6 million for a guy where multiple catastrophic incidents will have to occur for this guy to even see any playing time. He does not play.
And when he does play, I've never felt less confident in someone at the dish.
They gave him $6 million.
By the way,
That's crazy.
the ownership thing, it used to be that they were cheap. It's not that they're cheap anymore. There's a million other things you can complain about. We don't have to get into that. We've talked about this ad nauseum. But yeah, that's like a lazy, you're not really paying attention take in 2026. Like, they're cheap. No, it's other things that we're upset about.
But it's like, I understand if you got IKF on the Brennan Rodgers minor league deal, oh, maybe he'll make the team. $6 million, and then trade for Monasterio like a day later.
And by the way, $6 million. Well, at the time, your bullpen was super short, and that's relief pitcher money. You could have used that to beef up your bullpen, and you would have used the reliever because the bullpen's been taxed a lot already. God. All right.
Well, shout out to the starters. Shout out to the starters. 6 innings in 4 out of 5 games. Save the pen. Because you're right, Sammy. Early on, oh my God.
Ugh.
Oh, dude, can you imagine if they just used that $6 million on like Pete Fairbanks? like literally anyone, any like mid to above reliever, I feel not so much better about this team because I feel good about the team, but like it's just so like such better way to use those resources. They paid IKF so much money, we thought he was the second bat. Like, that's how much money IKF got.
Dude, we
I
did.
can't wrap my brain around that.
This is the whole theme of the episode is we can't.
That's a Dodgers move. That's a Dodgers move.
I love this theme. The theme of this episode is the Red Sox roster is so unbelievably poorly constructed that we can't even conceptualize how it got to this point. In an episode where we're talking about the Red Sox winning 2 out of 3 games in a series.
It's 4 out of 5 on the up and up.
4 out of 5. And we're all confused and angry and happy at the same time. This is baseball season, boys. We're in it. We're officially in it.
I just tried to check to see if IKF had a higher batting average than the guy that they actually traded for to be the second bat. He does not. Caleb Durbin is hitting 106. IKF is hitting 091.
Oh my God.
If you add them up, if you add those batting averages up, it's not 200, right? What'd you say, 91?
91 plus 106. Yeah, it doesn't get there.
197.
Oh, yay.
Good Lord.
Hey, at least they won. 2 out of 3. The pitching and defense actually looked really good, so we can have some solace in that.
Yes. Instead of being depressed by our problems, we laugh at them.
And Crochet on the mound on Monday. Keep the train rolling.
Yes. All right, let's do some Nuff Said. This is not my Nuff Said, but it does need to be mentioned on the show. The nested camera thing today was wild. The fact that went to shit during Roman's at bat, and I forget, Roman got out. I forget what he did because I couldn't see it. And then Durbin gets hit, and then Duran strikes out. And then Contreras is up there. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, they're about to get bailed out here because there may not be a ball in play from the moment we realized there was a problem until the end of the inning. And then the second that thought crept into my mind, Willson Contreras, it's a moon bomb to center field out of the ballpark for a 2-run bomb. And it's, of course, worth it. Worth it because we got a homer out of it and we got push-ups out of it. But holy crap.
Secret home run. It's a secret one. It's the new style of play.
Depressing zoom in on Brayan Bello when Jordan Walker took him deep.
Yeah.
There was even a pan. There was even a camera pan toward the direction where the ball might have gone. It was just an immediate zoom in on Brayan Bello.
Yeah, that was wild. You mentioned Jordan Walker, so I'll go first for my Nuff Said. He's had such a good year, and I want that to be kind of just a message to Sox fans of patience for a guy like Christian Campbell, who has shown some positive signs in the last week or so in AAA. Obviously, he's he's reworked a lot in his game. And Jordan Walker is a guy who had 3 straight years of negative WAR and now looks like one of the best players in the league through the first couple. I mean, he has been the best hitter in baseball for the first couple of weeks of the season. That's a guy who was a top 5 or 10 prospect in the sport and just was objectively awful and looked like a complete bust. But when the talent is there, they always say it in baseball, development's not linear. So even if Campbell doesn't figure it out this year, that does not mean he's cooked any prospect. Like if Marcelo has a terrible year, doesn't mean he's cooked. Sometimes these guys figure it out later. Sometimes they figure it out right away. But awesome to see his success and definitely a reminder that this shit does not necessarily happen instantly.
Mm-hmm. Gordo, I applaud you because there is nothing that Boston Red Sox fans like more than being told to be patient.
Yeah, I know.
That'll
Especially
go over well.
Me.
Yeah, right? Yeah, pop me a kettle. You're right, though. I mean, development isn't linear is a 100% accurate statement. Aaron Judge didn't debut till he was 25 years old. So take it easy on Campbell. Take it easy on Roman, too. Roman's not exempt from this. He's a tier above all these guys prospect-wise. Actually, no. Jordan Walker was right in that tier, that top 5 tier. And he wasn't just okay. He was bad for multiple seasons. And it's still early. We don't know if he's actually figured it out. It might be a mirage, but it looks good for him, and I'm rooting for him because I have heard that he's a nice guy.
They could not get him out.
No.
Like, it's not just that he's hitting home. Like, he is – you couldn't get a pitch by him. His first 3 years here were his WARs. In 117 games year 1, it was a minus 0.1. 51 games in year 2, it was a minus 0.8. 111 games in year 3, it was a minus 1.7 WAR. This year, before today, and he went deep today, was already at a 1.2. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Leading the league in home runs.
Good for him. And that's a good spot for a young player to develop, a team that is not trying to win now, and he's not under a lot of pressure. Conversely, Roman Anthony, lead the way, do everything. You're the guy. You're 21. You just legally became able to drink alcohol. So
go be David Ortiz.
My enough said. I had a creative way to grow the game on Saturday night. I went to my friend's house in Milford. My friend KJ and his wife Sabrina, wonderful people. They're not baseball fans. They don't like watching baseball. They don't watch baseball very often. But I said to them, hey, guys, I need to watch the game because we're doing radio on Sunday. I have to be prepared to talk about the game. So they said yes. So what I did to make it more interesting for them is I assigned a Pokemon to each Red Sox player that I thought properly represented them. And I explained throughout the game why each player was given X Pokemon. And it kind of worked. I don't think they loved it. Like, it wasn't a great, exciting game until the 9th inning. But overall, a little bit of growing the game going on in Milford, Massachusetts. So shout out to my friends for being patient with me, even though I know they're not baseball fans, but they toughed it out, and we're slowly growing the game here. Baseball isn't boring.
That sounds like my living hell.
I was going to say, Pat.
You wouldn't have liked it, Pat. You would have been like, who's Golem, bro?
Pat, does that make baseball more or less nerdy than it already is?
Are you infinitely more?
That's
what?
the point,
Pokemon? Well, hold on. Is Pokemon considered nerdy?
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends.
Is water wet?
Well, is it,
What?
dude? I don't know.
It depends how you play Pokemon and how into it you are. Like Will Klein, there was a video of Will Klein opening packs of Dodgers pitcher. Will Klein opening packs of Pokemon cards with fans who were throwing him cards, and he was like, "Oh, sweet, I pulled this rare whatever." Like, you're gonna tell that guy who just won a World Series it's nerdy? Like, no, he's into it a little. But if you're like balls deep and you're like diehard Pokemon,
Lucas Giolito,
Willie in the 2-hole deep, like, then maybe it gets a little nerdy. I'm nerdy with Pokemon. I know like all the move sets, the stats, the weaknesses, a little like it's a deep cut with Pokemon. But yes, it's nerdy. That's the entire point. We embrace that. We don't fight it.
All right, Pat, what do you got?
Mine's very simple. If anyone has not seen it, Cora last week pregame, I believe it was Friday. It was Wednesday or Friday. I forget which. But pregame, he was on the WEI afternoon show, and they asked him about the on-base celebration, like the thrust that we've become so infatuated with. He said that it was kind of joking around with somebody on the team who has a TikTok video doing a dance. That was the easiest pull of my life because I've seen that 1,000 times on TikTok. So on my Twitter is the video of like 15-year-old Roman Anthony dancing to Obsessed by Mariah Carey. In every single celebration you see in the dugout or on base, he does that move in the dance. And yeah, big fan. Big fan. That they're already kind of just shitting on Roman.
The video, Roman in that video is the slowest / most serious thrust I've ever seen in my life.
How many have you seen?
That's a child, Gordo.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying he's very serious in the video, and it looks like his headshot. He's very serious in that too.
I know you guys don't agree with me. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. Would never do that. I was a little bit disappointed when I found out this is where the celebration comes from. I thought it was some like crazy thrust-related scenario that happened, and the team was talking about it, and it was really funny and like secret. But it's a TikTok dance.
What could be funnier than this? They're making fun of Roman from when he was a kid.
Yeah, dude, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to say any of that on the podcast. But
what's
fair?
No. So what's funny is that part right there. If you're watching on YouTube, that part that just happened, like the knock on the head. Crochet does that 15 times a game. If you watch in the dugout, it's that part. And I think it's so funny that Crochet. That's just Crochet's go-to emote. Is that?
I'll concede it is funny that they're joking about the TikTok dance. I kind of expected something crazier is where I'm getting at. How old is Roman in this video, by the way? It feels weird watching this.
He's got to be like 15, dude.
It's got to be because COVID, assuming it was during COVID in 2020, that's 6 years ago. He's 21, so probably 15.
Damn, I wish I was jacked like that when I was 15. Maybe I'd be hitting leadoff for the Red Sox now. Nope.
No, just sitting in the studio, talking ball.
Sitting in my living room.
How do you guys not gloss over the biggest story of the weekend, non-Sox related?
James Higgins?
I was just thinking Ichiro statue
Oh!
getting broken. How do you guys miss that? Sammy, you're the Seattle guy.
Yeah,
what
my
the
bad.
heck happened with that?
Well, Joe, my fiance who's from Seattle is currently in Mongolia, literally in Mongolia, so I'm not really thinking Mariners right now, but that was tough to watch. I felt bad because the artist who made the statue was standing next to it, and the pain in his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy. But they fixed it right away, and the Mariners social media team handled it well. They like posted a picture of like a giveaway with a broken bat statue. So if they can laugh at it, it's fixed. But I did feel really bad for the artist. That must have taken him so much time.
Can you send me the artist looking? I want to see that. I didn't see that.
He goes like that Willem Dafoe gif where Willem Dafoe is looking up like at the sky. Pat, I don't know what movie or show that's from.
Oh,
well, that fell flat.
The Lighthouse, I think. I think it's The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. Yeah, here it is.
Here we go, Gordo.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh my god! I mean, I saw the
fireworks. I'll try to find the one with the artist.
And then Ichiro made like a joke that Mariano probably threw a cutter.
Yeah.
to break his bat.
That's funny. Two things I didn't realize. Well, actually, maybe just one thing I didn't realize that it actually broke as they were pulling the cloth off of it. I thought it was just already broken and they just went for it. Oh my god. No. You could see it break underneath.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good thing Ichiro has a good sense of humor. The Mariners are funny, but goddamn. Imagine if that happened to Tom Brady, like his head fell off when they unveiled the statue, just rolled around Gillette.
The amount of people that showed up for that.
People in New England would be like, dude, that's not funny.
Yeah, we would be pains in the asses about it.
It's not funny what happened to the Brady statue.
Somehow, when they unveiled the Brady statue, like his towel fell out of his waistband or like the hand fell off, the dude who built the statue, the fans would beat the piss out of that guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was not perfect.
Just an angry mob. There's how many people, so many people showed up to the Brady unveiling. They'd all magically have pitchforks. It would get ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funnier with his head rolling around. The towel,
That's like the Simpsons, right? The statue, Jebediah Springfield's head rolls around and down, right?
Remember when the Red Sox banner fell off and those guys found it?
They're like,
like, we'll give it back to the Red Sox if they give us tickets. Imagine if Tom Brady's statue's head fell off and some masshole takes it and runs away, and then he posts like a hostage video. He's like, yeah, I got the Brady statue head. I don't know if I'm going to bring it back unless Bob Kraft wants to give me season tickets, dude. But like, I got it.
Consider this a dare from the Play Tessie podcast to go steal the Brady statue head and hold it for ransom. That's going to be how we end this thing.
We
support you in your theft. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 343 of Play Tessie. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, get your baseballs and boring merch at bbisn'tboring.com. Find us on YouTube or Play Tessie on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up on our videos. We really appreciate it if you subscribe there. And then find us on the socials at Play Tessie on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We'll be back. We've got an interview coming for you guys. It's going to be Tristan Casas on the pod coming up on Wednesday. We'll be back with another full episode on Thursday. Every week, man. So much Play Tessie radio on Saturday. We got the bib notes coming out on the Baseballs and Boring feed. If you didn't know that, we're on that every single week. So just keep your eyes out because we're doing so much stuff, more content than we've ever done before. And with the Red Sox playing a little bit better, it gets more fun to do that content. So let's keep it going, get some more wins, and we'll be back in your ears in a couple days. For Sammy, Pat, Joe producing, it is Gordo here. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 343. Peace.